Welcome to the Smiling Suffer podcast. On the mic is Corey, and on my right is Mr. G in the building.
So,
We also have the Lady of Laurel calling in
Hello. Hi, guys.
because she's scared of Corona. Understandably so. You are showing symptoms the other day, weren't you? How are you feeling now?
Who?
You.
I'm feeling better. It was just a cold.
It was a cold.
Jerry. It
But
was-
did you get
it wasn't
tested?
cold.
please stay in your house, please.
But
Thank
did you get tested?
No, but I know the symptoms to look for coronavirus. I didn't have
Okay, just stay in your house, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a
I
minute,
didn't have
man.
a fever.
I understand. I literally believe you, but please just stay in your house.
I am. Trust
Okay,
me. I'm
good.
not just
Did you do the?
I'm as scared of y'all as you're scared of me. So
Did you do the breath holding test?
I know what to do. I did my pulse ox, meaning my my oxygen level. I've been doing my temperature and everything.
Okay.
I didn't have the symptoms. So
Okay.
trust and
Okay.
believe that I know what to do, what to look for, and I didn't have any other symptoms. So.
Okay. I think we should start off with Corona. I think we should start off with
Yeah, so
this Corona update, and there's a lot going on. So let's start off
there's
with
a lot of stuff going on.
and Yeti. I'm hoping being that you're in the health industry, you can kind of walk us through this and let us know what the myths are and what the truths are, because there's a lot of information out there right now, and some of it just
Yeah, there's
doesn't
too
make any
many
sense. So let's start off with the origins of this stuff. We kind of discussed that already, right?
Yes.
The speculation is that it might have started out in Wuhan, China,
Yes.
in
it
their
did. Well,
in their meat market, in their exotic meat market.
yeah. So not to be a conspiracy theorist, but what I
Anytime someone says that, you know they're about to be a conspiracy
They're about to
theorist.
put on their
Go on,
hat,
just
their
put on
tinfoil
your
hat.
tinfoil, hat. Let's go.
It's not just me that's saying it. I heard of several podcasts that are talking about.
Where's the wipes?
So the largest bio lab is in Wuhan, China.
Okay.
The largest bio lab.
Like the bio warfare, kind of like the testing labs and stuff is in Wuhan.
I know where you're going with this, but continue.
She's
So
saying it was man-made.
supposedly they were testing it on animals. I mean, they do that on the labs. Even all these American labs too. They test on animals first. But they didn't. You're supposed to burn the animals when you finish, because the coronavirus is that bad. But they didn't burn them. They were selling it on the black market.
Wait.
And that's
Where
how-
did you
and
get
that's
this
how it got.
information? Because this is exclusive. I haven't heard this before. This is some exclusive shit.
I've been trust me, because I was homesick for 2 days. I was just all over the internet. I need to stop. My brain, I'm going crazy.
Well,
Reading crazy shit
look,
on the internet.
however it started,
That's what I read.
it's here. So
It's here. Okay, so we started out there.
Let's move on.
It
Yep.
obviously left China. Now, we do have to point out that there were some key missteps, right? And the
Ugh,
first misstep I want to
many.
point out is that we used to have a pandemic group, right? The White House used to
Yep,
have a
the
pandemic
global
group,
health, yep,
global health,
and CDC.
and their whole purpose was to prepare us for
yep,
a
and
moment like
epidemics
this.
and stuff like that, epidemics and all that. Yep,
Trump got rid of them,
yep.
and that was the first.
Everyone, and he didn't replace them.
He didn't replace any of them. So that was already a huge misstep, right? Now,
Yep.
this started in late December. Now, if let's say that
And there's some conspiracies that have been before that even. September, they're saying.
interesting.
That
But
we just didn't know about.
but we
And
didn't know about
China
it till
would
December.
tell
We
us.
didn't know about it till December, and the media didn't really start reporting on it till like January. That's a safe bet, right? I also feel like there were some missteps by the media, because yes, I feel like to an extent it got politicized too. Trump had his mess ups, but then you also had the media they kind of freaked out in some instances, and
They should have, though. Why wouldn't they freak out?
but then you also understand how freaking out could also lead to hysteria, and now we have grocery stores that are empty. That's not right. We have, since February, right? We've been running out of things like hand sanitizer. We've running out of things like masks, and the masks don't even help that much anyway. These surgical masks,
Nope.
and a lot of that has
It
to
does
do with
not.
the hysteria, and a lot of that also has to do with the fact that people that actually need it, like hospital workers who are on the front lines,
They're not getting it.
they're not getting it. So I feel like there were a lot of missteps all over the place, but we don't have to dwell on that. Initially, it was
But
considered.
we can't blame the media, though. We have to blame the government. They didn't handle this properly.
I think there's
They're
enough
just
blame
like
to
a-
go around. I think there's enough blame to go around because it also
right.
got politicized to an extent too, and you had people trying to use it as like to score political points, both Trump on the Trump side and on the Democratic side. I thought that was messed up, and the media kind of fed into that. The media.
The media will do that now. That's their job.
Well, okay, now can you explain to me, because at some point it got categorized. Well, I don't know if it was CDC or WHO. They categorized it as a pandemic. It started out as an outbreak,
Pandemic.
right?
So there are three different ones: pandemic, epidemic, and endemic.
Okay. Can you break it down for us?
So, yes, an endemic is basically it's a disease that exists in like exists permanently in a particular region.
Okay.
Like malaria is endemic to Nigeria.
Okay. Yes.
Epidemic
Or to West Africa.
is I guess yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Epidemic is an outbreak of a disease that attacks many people, but in the same community. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
what did we have? Ebola
Yeah.
was an epidemic.
And it was an epidemic because. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
You said it was an
What is it?
it was an epidemic
What's that
because
mean?
what?
It stays in. It's the same people and at the same time in a specific region, though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's an outbreak of a disease that stayed in like
Ebola was not. Basically, she's saying Ebola was not in
an epidemic.
Liberia. It's not every day it's in Liberia. It just happened at one point
Yeah.
in
Okay.
Liberia.
Okay.
And
And that's a pandemic.
no, it's epidemic.
Oh, so
No,
that's
an
an epidemic. Okay. Then
Yes. Pandemic
It's
is
everywhere.
throughout the whole world.
aha.
Worldwide.
Everyone has it.
And-
Worldwide.
We global now.
And the last
It's
time
global.
we had a pandemic was like the Spanish flu, right?
1918. Spanish 18 in 1918.
Okay.
But that's it. Spanish flu in 1918.
So
you know, the Spanish flu was basically an H1N1 virus. Back in
Oh,
the
it
day.
was.
But they didn't know
Interesting.
how. They didn't know how to handle it back then. So they said
Okay.
about 30 million people died back then.
So it sounds like to an extent this was also this is unprecedented at least in terms of recent times.
Yeah.
This isn't H1. This isn't SARS. This is
Nope,
a little bit
nope.
crazier than all those ones. Now, this coronavirus, right?
Yep.
What makes it dangerous is the fact that it's airborne, right? It's not just about
No, it's
sneeze
not
particles.
It's not airborne.
It's not airborne. It's droplets.
It's not airborne.
I thought someone said if just
If I
breathing around
nah,
people.
if I
like
sneeze
so, I
right
heard
now-
just breathing around people in a
if I
stuffy room.
sneeze in that direction,
No.
as long as that
If
doesn't
you
get on you,
sneeze,
Okay.
the little droplets of the spit that came from him to
Okay.
you,
Yeah.
yeah.
and even if
But
it gets
doesn't
to you,
linger in the air.
even if it gets in your hands, it doesn't affect you.
Yes.
Which is why they say wash
Until
your
you touch
hands
your
until you
face.
touch your.
Yes.
Well, not even just your
Yeah.
eyes, nose, mouth.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Okay. So it got now. What's an outbreak? Because I heard though it went from an outbreak to a pandemic. I guess an outbreak is just something.
Yeah, just an outbreak is an outbreak.
An
Yeah,
outbreak.
It went from an outbreak to epidemic to a pandemic.
Oh, I see. All right, I see. And who's that doctor that's been on the TV recently that everyone, Dr. Fauci?
NIH, bitches.
Okay, so can you give us because that's where is that? Am I allowed to say where you work?
Yeah, I guess.
After you
Okay,
said
so
it.
have you met him before? Is he a cool guy?
No, I don't know him. He works in a different office than.
So-
I'm not even in the same building anymore.
So can you tell us what Dr. Fauci is? Because everyone seems to be like that's like our president right now in this time because we're definitely not getting a lot of confidence
The
from Trump.
director- Okay, so NIH is a institute, and they're different. NIH is like the governing body under Human Health Services,
Mm-hmm.
and they do research on different diseases all over, like any disease you can think of. They do research on it.
Yep.
And he's the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease.
Okay.
An infectious disease is like HIV.
Yeah.
This one is an infectious disease, stuff like that. So he's an expert on things that are infectious. Like Ebola is an infectious disease.
Okay. So now he keeps talking about this curve. He has said that, look, this is going to get worse because it has spread. It's beyond an endemic. It's beyond an outbreak. It's now a pandemic. And once it gets to a pandemic, it becomes a curve, right? And he keeps explaining this curve where we know we're going to see a rise in cases of coronavirus. Now, he's explained, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we can't stop the pandemic. It's already out. It's out the bag. However, we can slow down the rate of the spread, and it'll be easier to handle it. And the reason why is because if we're able to slow down the rate, then it's much easier to be able to treat people as opposed to if like the whole country just goes sick. Because what ends up happening is that the hospitals get filled up, and then they end up having to make decisions like they're making in Italy and China, where they're literally choosing people who are gonna live and people who are gonna die.
Apparently, if you're over 60, they don't even bother with you anymore in Italy right now.
Yeah. So that's another thing we should point out. This disease, right? It's kind of like the flu, the similar symptoms as the flu, but it's way more fatal. It's way more. Can you tell I did a little bit of research? Can I get some credit here? Now it's way more.
Though. You better do your research.
It's way more fatal. I'm telling you, the other night I was freaking out. I wouldn't like. Initially, I was like, nah, everyone's freaking out. And then like 2 nights ago, I just started because I was the only one out of my group of friends that traveled out of the country. And I started feeling self-conscious, like they canceled poker. And I'm like, did these guys cancel poker because of me? I really started feeling self-conscious. And I started thinking about it. I'm like,
when nobody's thinking about it.
I could have the coronavirus right now. So.
Wait, hold on. The guy, he's telling you leniently. This guy first sent a message saying, I actually think you guys canceled this thing because of me.
I think they did. And they weren't being honest.
I pictured a very vulnerable Corey just sitting down saying to himself,
I was kind of freaking out.
These guys canceled this poker thing because of me. And then he's just like, I have to let you guys know how I'm feeling right now.
I had to. I was feeling some type of way.
I think you guys
because here
like, nobody think about you, nigga.
So one of the things that we should point out is the fact that it's more lethal, deadly for people that either have weak immune systems or older people who usually have weaker immune systems.
Respiratory
and people with
respiratory system.
Yes.
If you have diabetes, asthma, stuff like that. People like me, that's why do you think I'm avoiding everybody?
Wow, okay.
Shit.
Okay.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's
Wait, so you have asthma? Everyone. I didn't know you had asthma.
No, I don't. My transplant that I had for my sickle cell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. That is true.
So
you have to be a lot more careful. And people with weak immune system, it's almost like it's kind of sick. It almost like feels like you know how back then diseases would come and only the survive and only the fittest would survive. It feels like we're back in those times, like where is like people don't know how to act. We had talked about the fact that Italy and China, they're having to make hard choices, whereas like older people, and then they're trying to take care of. And what ends up happening is there's only so many beds in the hospital, so we don't want to end up in that position. And I think that's what Dr. Fauci is trying to avoid.
Was saying, and he said it. So he said apparently in the whole of America we have about 1 million hospital beds.
Yes, 1 million.
And America has how many people in it?
Over 300 million people.
So I do the math on that.
Oh, that is scary. That is scary. So one of the ways that we can do that, and I'm trying to go through this as serious as possible because I want to try to inform our listeners out there too. One of the ways that we do that is through this thing called social distancing, right? Yeah. Can you break that down for us a little bit?
So basically, you can't spread it. So the incubation period for coronavirus is 2 to 14 days.
Yeah.
So if you maybe have it, it'll last in your body. Well, even though they're not changing, it's about 30 days. But officially, it's 2 to 14 days. So if you have it, if you stay at home for 14 days, it will pass and you won't have it anymore. So you can pass it on after 14 days.
Okay.
So if you stay in your house, everybody stays in their house for at least 2 weeks, we should be fine. That's why Italy has shut down the whole country now. No one's going out anywhere.
And
no one at all. So stay in your house.
And that makes sense. And you know, there's a chance that some of us might have it, but again, it's not as much of a threat, and it will just pass through. And hopefully, as the weather gets warmer, hopefully it gets better. Yeah. Now,
that's why I feel like Nigeria and African countries are not showing. We don't have that many.
It's not because we have black man blood.
No,
I have black man blood. I thought that was why.
No, nigga, it's because it's hot in Africa, especially in West Africa right now. And unfortunately, they're saying South Africa is going to go to winter.
Yes.
So we might see a rise over there.
Their winter is our summer.
Not only is it hot there. I mean, we sit here a lot and criticize, Nigeria. But when it comes to these things, I actually think the government actually does a good job with, a lot of people. A lot of people, when it came out, they were saying, and you see oppositions, obviously. This politics, it's a very stupid thing. You see the likes of corrupt people like Obasanjo coming out to say, "Oh, I want to see the name of the person you guys said has, corona," because they think it's a plot from the government to. It's not, and they don't.
The government do that though? I don't
because they say it's like they say it's a plot for the government to get more money and embezzle it.
I see.
You see, like the Minister of Housing, I think Transportation, whatever in Nigeria, he said like the expressway, Lagos-Ibadan Express, the constructions might be delayed due to the virus. And illiteracy is a disease, but you see a lot of people come in and say, what the hell does corona have to do with a virus? But a lot of the contractors are from Asia. So you get a lot of the contractors are Chinese. A lot of the railways we have, they're built by Chinese companies, and you can't really be having their workers around now. You can't even also, just people coming from that region. You can't really be having them working and mixing with everybody in the country. So it's like it has to put a hold to it. But someone sees it and says, "Oh, that's just a way to, use an excuse to cover up." But that's just the truth, is that these are the people who build these things, and we need them away for now to isolate themselves till we move forward. But shout out, Nigeria's done a good job with.
Social distancing seems to be a very, very effective way to at least slow down this pandemic.
It is.
So that we can better treat it.
It is.
Let's address the myths. So one of the myths that I've heard is about the surgical mask. So just to be clear, the surgical mask is not really going to prevent you from getting corona if you're exposed to it.
There is a mask you can wear, but
there's a mask. It's called the N mask, right?
N95.
N95 mask.
N95 to N99 mask
are
better for you because it seals everything. But N95 masks and those masks are not enough because your eyes are still open.
Yeah. And then so this surgical mask people wear.
Yes.
It's what I was reading somewhere, is to prevent people that have disease, whatever, to cough out larger particles.
Yeah, it's for like surgeons, for when they're working.
And then also to have
when surgeons are working on bodies, they
it's
don't
also
want them
to help. Yes, but
so in a way, it actually prevents you from getting. If you had corona, it would most likely prevent you from giving someone else, right? To an extent.
Yes.
To an extent.
To an extent. Less would come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the mask is not for a healthy person. Like if you're healthy and someone,
don't wear
it. You're gonna look dumb. I'm sorry, but it's not like it's a very. I understand people are scared. I talk it out to people are scared, but I don't know.
So I think sometimes people do it. People want to feel like they have some kind of control because again, this is a virus that you can't see. We don't know how you can't tell who has it. People don't even show symptoms. So I think it's a way for people to have some kind of control.
Research is a very big tool. Research yourself and you find out. And people hear stuff like, "Oh, it's only older people dying," and they say, "Look,
that's not true."
The flu, exactly. They say the flu, blah blah, is even worse than it, so they don't really care. And then you have people saying stuff like like we'll talk about but like Afro Nation. People who want to go to Afro Nation. I see it all over from Twitter. They're making jokes about how this is me going to Afro Nation with a mask, and they want to go. These kids want to go and have a good time. It makes sense, but the problem is not even about you, a healthy person, getting the virus. It's about you bringing it back
and giving someone
who can survive.
Exactly. So
system. and you wouldn't know you have it.
You wouldn't know.
So you go.
You don't always show
Exactly.
symptoms.
So you go there, you go to this carnival, this place, and you have a time of your life, and you come back with the virus, and you don't know you have it. You're fine, and then the guy, the girl, the person, your family member you interact with, they get it, they die.
Yes.
And then you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
So that's the
You
issue.
wouldn't know.
So and I understand you don't want to stop living your life, but you can go on vacation.
Yeah.
But just
You can't be selfish at this point.
yes,
you can be.
but I think like
You
mass
can be.
gatherings has to reduce because
It has to.
you have a higher chance
has
of getting
to.
it from a mass
So they've
gathering.
canceled Afro Nation, right?
They
Confirmed.
they reluctantly canceled
did.
it.
Okay.
I think
Yeah, because it took
they
them a while
reluctant. They
to
did
get
it
to
yesterday.
it.
They reluctantly canceled it yesterday, and
Are they going to refund?
And there's
they
been a
they said they start refunding from Monday. I don't know. I didn't plan to go, but I saw they said they start to refund on Monday.
So some of the other things that we can also do is we wash our hands regularly too, right? That would help.
Wash your hands. Keep
Wash
washing
hands
your
But it's
regularly.
good. I like this thing
Wash,
because
wash.
I do this a lot, but it's good to start putting hygienic,
Yes.
like
It's
let
almost
people
like
start learning how to.
it's almost like we
actually-
should have been doing this.
Do
A
you
lot of these
understand? Like,
things
dude,
already to
I
begin with.
I can't eat without like washing my hands, especially.
Yeah.
So it's good that people are starting to learn. Like I saw somebody say something like, "Oh, with this virus now, when they go to public bathrooms, they're gonna have to lay tissue down before they sit on it." I'm like, bro, you've been sitting on that shit before.
like you nasty ass.
motherfucker, man. Like, dude, that's what you should have been doing. In fact,
Yeah,
squat
you should have
self.
been doing it.
Like,
You should have been doing
dude,
it.
when I leave the bathroom, once I wash my hands, that paper towel is what I'm going to use to open the door.
Yeah, me too.
I can't touch it
Me
again.
too, me too.
Do you get? So it's
I'm
like
very, very
you got to
conscious
be
of it.
conscious. And you remember I was saying the other day, I don't like people touching my face.
Yeah.
This is just how it's always been.
Yeah,
Do you get? So it's like, don't touch my
Exactly.
face. This
Exactly.
is it's just for your own safety. You can be dirty as in your place or whatever, but just for your safety
Yes.
of things like this.
Yep.
People. This is how people break out now, and anyone will just rub anything from your hand on your face and stuff like that. So just don't
Yep.
touch my face.
So I saw a meme that says, me being OCD, I'm now being vindicated.
So to just everybody just try. I mean, look, you can get it. Look, we can get it and survive. And not even know we've had it for 2 weeks, but just try and be careful.
Yeah. And take care of your elders. Be mindful of your older ones because
Other people.
some of
And
us
other people,
live
yes.
with our parents.
Yes.
Be careful of people.
People who have weaker immune system, people who have
Yep.
respiratory system issues, all that stuff. Just be careful.
And lastly, I just want to shout out to all the health workers on the front line. Like this, it's almost
Yes,
like they are in battle right now. It's not easy because they're also exposing themselves to these things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they
And
have to keep going back to work.
so,
All the doctors, all the nurses.
yeah, the doctors, the
all
nurses,
the
healthcare
aides, the pharmacists.
workers, all of you, man.
Pharmacists
Like
have to go to all of them.
hu-
Hats off to you
huge
guys.
hats off, huge hats off. I commend
for
the
all
work
you
that you
do.
do for real.
And
So,
people too who are out there, keep praying too. You can do that too. I mean, I know prayer is not the only thing you should do, but you can also pray out there because I
It
see.
doesn't- yep,
You know,
it
I
doesn't- it
see.
doesn't hurt.
I've started to see some ignorant videos, and I call it ignorant. I don't want to go on my rant again, but you start seeing videos about pastor saying, "Go and wash, mix this liquid
my
inside
gosh.
this water, and shower with this water. Corona will never find you."
there was even one American pastor that was healing people.
Yeah,
through the
I'm
TV.
sorry. It's like
I forgot his name.
you can have faith that I would say that the best thing prayer should be that you can pray that you just don't come in contact with someone who has the virus, but you also need to take care of yourself and prevent. You don't pray that, oh God, don't let me come in contact with someone that has the virus, and then you travel halfway around the world to go to a concert and be in the middle of 10,000 people. But to think, oh, because I drank this water from the church or I showered with this anointing or whatever, I'm good.
Yeah, no.
You can do that if you want to do that, but also take this real world human
Make you use
precautions.
sense.
You get.
Make you use sense.
Take care of yourself. Heaven helps those who help themselves. So help yourself too.
Yep,
You know.
exactly.
Yeah, but yeah. So let's just end it on that note. It's called what? It's called the COVID-19, right?
COVID-19, man. My nigga
COVID-19.
traveling, man.
Shit.
Hashtag no borders,
Like-
man. Hashtag no visa, man. We go. We
The
glow.
new 2020, and we're not even 3 months in, and
We
this
glow.
shit is fucking shit up.
We global, baby.
It's fucking shit up, man.
2020 has been crazy.
It has,
2020
man.
has
First of all, we
been
lost
crazy.
Kobe.
But so listen, do you guys believe in Nigerian people believe in like leap years, like always that, right?
I want to hear.
I don't
it.
believe in
I
that.
want to
Never
hear
heard that
it.
before.
No, I want to hear it though.
I don't believe in that.
So you
heard it
think
before?
so you
every
think this year is cursed
was-
because it's the leap year?
Supposedly, according to, and even funny thing, it's not just Nigerians that believe that. My Russian coworker was saying they believe that in Russia too. That leap years are usually not good years.
Wait, so the last
People die
the last
more.
pandemic was 1918.
Oh, you said that's a leap year.
I wonder if that was a
Was
leap
that
year.
a leap year? 1918 divided by 4.
I don't know, man.
Good question.
1918 divided by 4. It wasn't a leap year.
Okay, it was. I'm just checking, because if it was, then I would really be freaking out.
But, I mean, hey, we all have our superstitions. In America, they don't believe in. They didn't used to believe in the 13th floor. Now.
Yeah.
A lot of buildings in this city that don't have a 13th
Yeah,
floor.
yeah.
Yesterday was Friday the 13th, by the way.
Yes, it was.
I know.
Shout out to
So let's get right into it, man. Let's start off with Afrobeat. And right now, the hot topic in Naija music right now is this man. He goes by the name.
Egungun, be careful.
Check this out.
Egungun be careful, na express you dey go. Egungun be careful, na express you dey go. Egungun be careful, na express you dey go.
It don't happen.
I don't hear him.
It don't happen.
I don't hear him.
You know what? I don't say this. Yeah. Pause that real quick.
I say Egungun be careful, na express you dey go. Egungun be careful, na express you dey go.
You see, this video, if they had held Afro Nation and people went and came back with COVID-19, this is the video I'll play for them because you are going to the express. It don't happen.
Yo.
But it's a very
How did this become?
So there's a guy. So I don't know the truth, and I don't want to give the guy a shout out yet because I haven't followed. I didn't really look it up. But there's a popular Twitter guy, Nigerian Twitter guy. He's somewhat popular. Who I think someone said he put out this as a meme for a situation, and you get it fits into everything. It's a I told you so
Everything.
meme. You get it's so he used. That's what someone said. That I didn't, like I said, I haven't followed the trail, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
But they said the guy did that, and what just happened was it became a meme, and in this day and age that we're in,
Yeah.
one of the
media.
best things that can happen to you is to become a meme.
Yeah.
You remember EP, Enemy of Progress.
Yes.
Look at Akia Popo.
Yep.
Like
They're
they're
huge
they're
memes.
huge here.
Huge. Huge.
And so on and so forth. Like so it's a meme, and this one might not necessarily carry along globally because the other ones were in English. So, you can relate to it outside of English-speaking countries. But this is a meme. This one has carried on well in Nigeria. And what that has done is, obviously, when you see stuff like this, you'll be like, who's this? For those who don't know, you say, oh, this is Obesere. And then, there some people don't know. Some people don't know.
So let's break it down for them. For those that
people
don't
don't
know,
know,
for
you
those
know.
that don't know, Obesere is he hails from Ibadan again. From Ibadan.
With those is singlets.
Omorakpala, Papa,
With his blouses. You'll be wearing those.
He goes by
nets.
his birth name is Abbas Akonde, aka Omorakpala, aka Papa Tosibe, aka Sidophobia. He started out way back in the 90s.
No, you forgot one. Corey, you forgot
Which one?
AKA African Fuji Mike.
African Fuji Michael Jackson. He started out in Ibadan. He is a popular Fuji musician. Yes. For those that don't know, Fuji. It's not necessarily Afrobeat, but it's an original sound.
This is where you have him, Pasuma.
Yeah, it's an original sound. I don't know who started it, but I know that the Fuji is like the high life music of the Yoruba people, and it's always been around since time. So just to give you a little bit of background, that is who Obesere is. I remember when he used to have Jerry curls. Like, this guy was like way ahead of his time. He was the original Naira Marley before there was anything like Naira Marley. Like, this guy always had like chicks in his videos shaking their ass and titties. Like, he was like our 2 Live crew back then, because he would come on TV and he was so raunchy, and the lyrics of what they say, most of the time in Fuji music, they're talking about sex and
even the videos.
Chicks.
The videos.
They're wild.
Well.
They're like rock stars. They're like our.
Yoruba, like some of the music. Now that I'm listening to it as an adult,
Yeah.
like that's what they were saying.
Yes, I know, and we had no idea. So
We had no idea.
So ever since Obesere got popular of these memes, he's been making these spots here and there, and like they've been interviewing him. There was this one interview that Wally recently sent me. I'm gonna play it real quick.
The one where it was wearing blue.
Yeah, the first one.
Where they asked him to explain what Egungun became.
Yeah. So they asked him to explain what Egungun Be Careful means, and he breaks it down for us because that's the one song that's been. All right.
Egungun be careful now, especially they go. Want to go jam you? It don't happen. I don't tell her. Ayalaja Basango, the paramount king of music, Agbaki, Abobagunwa, Gbogbo Yoruba land. Hey, keep washing.
Keep washing.
Boss. Egungun be careful now, especially they go. Egungun be careful now, especially they go. Want to go jam you?
Yes, so
you don't happen.
I don't tell her.
Don't jam
her.
Just like a warning.
Exactly.
Slang in it.
Exactly.
Slang in it. Because Egungun ti daṣọ bojú. Ó ní èèyàn tó máa ń mú rìn. Nígbà mi tó ń pè ní atọ́kùn. So tí atọ́kùn máa ń sọ pé ọ̀gbẹ́ni má gbàbẹ̀ yẹn o. Because bóyá dákínì ẹ̀ bójú ẹ̀hàn kankan àtẹ́pọ̀ lè máa rì. So ó fẹ́ lọ face express ní atọ́kùn ẹ̀ sọ pé Egungun be careful. Na express you dey go. Ó mọ orúkọ tó wà, ó mọ orúkọ ẹni tó wà nínú ẹ̀kú yẹn, but kò lè pé orúkọ ẹ̀. For example, sin bóyá tó àrùn ẹ̀kú yẹn sìn, bóyá Fatai lórúkọ ẹ̀, bóyá Sulaiman ni, bóyá Ganiu ni, kò lè pé. Ó kàn láti pé Egungun náà ni pé Egungun be careful. Na express you dey go. Mọ́tò kò jam you. Ìgbà tí ó lè gbọ́dọ̀ tó ń ṣe wọ́nrọ̀wọ́nrọ̀ tó ń ṣagídí tó wọ express báyìí tí mọ́tò gbé.
Say it don't happen. I don't tell her. Wait, so let's translate. Wait, let me try. So Egungun is a masquerade. So that covers its face. It covers its face. And what he's saying is because you put on a mask, you might not be able to see. You might not have a wide 360, 180 degree view. So Egungun, the masquerade, has somebody who always holds his hand to walk with.
Yeah.
What do you say the name is? Akotu. What do you say? Ako? Whatever he said the name is. But so that's the person that giving him the warning. Say, bro, be careful, you are going to the express highway. So be careful, And when the Egungun do not listen and he can't hit him, he say, it don't happen.
I don't tell her.
And like I said, it's almost the best way to just say, I told you so, man. So
basically,
I told you so, man. Hey, watch where you're going, man. You're gonna get hit.
This is another interview from back.
This is back in the day where they ask you about rape.
Oh yeah, they asked him about rape here.
Is that?
Jam musician in Nigeria.
Oh no, this is the one. No, this is not about rape.
This is not
the rape one.
You didn't send down to me then.
I didn't send out to you.
But let me finish this one.
To be faithful. So whoever I want to do, whatever wait, I like the person to be loyal with me. So first thing in life.
This guy is the legend.
Oh, as a musician, my job gives me a lot of joy because I love what I'm doing. It's not that I'm doing it with force. It's something that.
Well, the reason I say this video is because basically I don't think we're talking about English is not his first language.
Yeah.
And I'm almost convinced that English is not even the second language. It's like it tries, but like he speaks English like I don't think I don't want to say he's not learned. I don't think he went to school.
Yeah.
Or maybe not past.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It sounds like an insult when you say stuff like educated. But
no, but it is what
he speaks. He speaks like a Yoruba person who is not fully educated in terms of and that doesn't stop me from being successful. But like when he says stuff like pausing, that's the first thing. The pausing. I was like, as a musician, but as a musician, and then but one thing I can say is I'm glad that. He's. The only unfortunate thing is like his videos on YouTube. I think you search Obesere Egungun, be careful. You're probably gonna see 100,000 different links. Yeah. So I don't think he's been able to monetize it.
Yeah, I don't think
online,
so.
Right
because
now.
he came before. Monetization.
You said, what do you say?
I said he's getting a second resurgence.
Well, the issue with this resurgence is, I've always used to think in Nigeria, why don't we have, how they have like Like, why don't the likes of Style Plus and these people that were just even there like 10, 20 years ago, why don't they do concerts still? Why don't they make money? You know, a lot of these people don't make money. It doesn't happen tonight.
Right.
He's further back beyond them, and he's getting a resurgence, but his bag, is he getting a bag? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the people that are going to book him are still the same people that were going to book him before.
True.
You know, you and I are not going to call him to a show, and the only place I can see him getting a bag is online.
Yeah.
But he's not getting, like, I just looked at Google, be careful. I saw so many people posted the links. So he's probably not going to get those views to get the money. He's probably not even set up to get those, you know, money.
No,
and I know Zlatan has a song with him. Maybe they have a good deal where
let's talk about that. Why does Zlatan like hopping on trends?
Zlatan likes to
like
stay
that?
relevant, and you know, I told you that between, you know, the two of them, Zlatan and Naira, I said I think Zlatan will last the longest. But both of them have this thing where they want to stay on the latest trend. They want to be the talk of town because their music is not, I just use the word, I said it's not evergreen. It's not you know, today we hear an African queen, we reminisce, you hear
I don't think the same about Naira.
Nah, you hear Dami Duro, you hear
Obesere Lebo is going to be bagging in the clubs years from now.
No, you're not gonna. It's quick. We've said this thing about Olamide, and Olamide is a better artist than they are.
So you don't think Josopi?
No.
Kiri Joseph.
No,
you don't think
it's not an evergreen song, bro?
Okay.
It's not a classic.
I mean, we'll find out.
It's not a classic. It's a hit, but it's not a classic.
To me, it's a
not a
certified
classic.
crack.
It's not
classic.
a classic. Corey.
Soapy is a classic.
It's not a,
Okay.
Corey, you're not gonna be in a party 10 years from now and they're playing Soapy. Trust me, it's not gonna happen.
We can agree to disagree.
We'll wait 10 years from now. If COVID-19 hasn't taken care of everybody yet, we'll wait 10 years from now. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be a classic.
Well, we can agree to disagree.
Corey, I've told you this. I've given you countless number of examples. I always use Mr.
But
Real.
you also told me that this guy was not going to last, and the guy was still relevant in December. You told me.
We're in March.
I remember you told me.
What is the last thing that Naira Marley did?
You told
in
me
March.
You told me Okpatoyi was not going
We're
anywhere.
in March.
It blew up.
We're in March.
You told me after.
We're in March. Oh, yeah, tell me where's Zlatan, where Naira Marley is on any chart. We're in March.
Give it time now.
We're talking about the top 100 Nigerian song. You played WurlD as the beginning of the thing. WurlD's dropped that album how many months ago?
All I'm saying is that you've been proven wrong on Naira Marley in the
WurlD
past.
dropped his album how
and
many
you're
years
stepping
ago?
in it again. But we'll see.
Freaking what's his name?
I don't think Soapy will last. Like, I don't think he has longevity.
They're not. So they're only as relevant as that last hit. So to stay relevant, they hop on the next wave. They milked out the whole EFCC and Yahoo Boy. How many songs did Naira Marley talk about being a Yahoo Boy on?
I'm not saying he is going to remain relevant, but I'm saying those songs. You can't say those songs.
Yahoozy is a hit. But where is Olu maintained today?
So there's a difference between the artist himself being relevant and the song itself. I'm not even talking about Naira.
Yahoozy is a hit, but Yahoozy is not a classic.
But I'm not even talking about Naira. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But you're saying that the songs that he released last year,
in 10 years from now,
dominated
you can
all last year. Songs like Soapy,
in 10 years from now, you can play.
Boy.
10 years from now, you can hear Soapy and be like, "Oh my God, yes, this is a jam and everything."
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
That song,
right? I remember that song. But we have classics. I just mentioned Two-Face African Queen. I mentioned every show Davido does, Dami Duro comes out. It's a classic. Wizkid, Ojo Elegba, these people have this classic.
I think he's going to be able to perform Soapy years from now.
All right.
You disagree. But just keep in mind that you were proven wrong last year already by Naira Marley.
I said he wasn't going to go past last year.
And he did. Even into this year.
What has he done this year?
You know, I was still in Nigeria in February, right?
Okay.
You know, I was still in Nigeria in February.
All right.
Like when they play his songs, everyone still gets up in the club.
Okay, let's wait. The year just started.
In February.
Aren't they old songs?
They are old already, but let's wait. Let's wait. This thing is not today. It'll not be today, man. But anyways, Obesere, you know, I do hope he gets to secure more bags of, you know, and shout out to whoever started the meme. And the way Zlatan is going about it, I'm not really happy about it. Yeah, I would rather I like collabs. You know, I've always thought, why don't new artists collab with old artists? I know Davido sampled Lagbaja on I think it was If or For, one of those songs. He sampled Lagbaja vibe on there, and I like stuff like that. You know,
It's Lagbaja anyway.
I don't even know where he is. You know, but
He probably still performs live.
Lagbaja still performs the place. There was a rumor where he was a professor of music somewhere in the States at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a rumor. Yeah, I mean, because these are people who actually have the talent. You know, but
Right.
move on. But yeah, but like I know Davido did that.
So,
I found.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Okay, but I want more Nigerian artists to do. You see the way we have, you know, the. I know you want to see me neki, you know, doing remixes of older songs. I want us to do that, but do it properly. Zlatan his version of the Egungun song is just the same. Zlatan shouting and it's like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
So I found the originator of Fuji music.
Yeah, who was it?
Alhaji Dauda Akamu Ekpuakara.
What?
He was
Ekpo akara. That's the oil that they used to fry akara now.
Akara, yes.
Wow.
So he had a band called Daudu Akamu Ekpuakara and his Ajisari group.
And what year was
born
this?
In 1943.
Oh wow! It goes.
Yeah, this is old. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, well,
But
thank.
it became popular by Barista though.
Oh, Barista.
Barista is who made
Yeah.
it was who made the whole genre popular.
Wow.
The genre is fading out, though. I know.
You think so?
I know
Yeah,
older people are the ones that
sadly.
like
I feel
it,
like-
but they make money, because
I still saw Kwamwon perform.
That's what I'm
at-
saying. They make
at,
money.
Shino
That's what I was
Pela's
about to say.
club.
They make money because
parties.
and that's why I said that this Egungun, be careful. I don't think it's gonna change his bag because people still will call. Maybe some older people will remember him now and say, you know what, let's book
He
him.
can get some
But I know
some club gigs.
Kwamwon, you know, K1 the Ultimate, this guy, King Sonny Ade, you know, all of them, they get called to this
They're
older,
making money.
and they get the parties they get called to are not these are parties that this newer
the
artists will
rich
be
people,
wishing they actually get called to. They say like,
Did you guys see? I have to send a video of Kwaman performing at somebody's birthday, and this guy, he's a magician in Nigeria. His father was
yeah,
Shino Pella.
Shino Pella, yeah.
I was
He
there.
was just giving him bundles.
Yeah,
He
Shino
was
Pella is a
there
politician.
Oh no,
yeah.
I wasn't at that one. But when I went to Nigeria, I went to the same club, and Kwamon also performed the same thing.
But
But
he performed at Quillox.
yeah, Aquilux this time, but this time Shino didn't give out money, but the whole club was at a standstill. And what I think is, the younger crowd, it's happening slowly. I think they're slowly starting to embrace this new genre. It's not a new genre of music, but this old genre of music. I think it's slowly coming back. And I'm telling you, he shut down the club, the whole club. It was all
But
young
my
people in
question
there.
is, who brought him there? Shino Pella brought him there.
Shino Pella brought
So
him there.
were the people asking for him to be brought there, or Shino Pella brought him there just because he wants to?
It
bring
didn't
him
look
there?
like it was the first time, and I'm telling you, everyone shut down.
So is he
to
doing?
watch him perform?
Is he doing? There's a difference between shutting down. Sorry, cut you off, Yeti, and paying your respect, and you know the jams from your parents than you actually want him in demand.
Fair.
You know, it's like, is he doing it to other clubs? Is he doing it at other venues?
But I know a lot of people that listen to Fuji.
Of course, there are people who listen
Like,
to Fuji.
a lot of people,
Yeah.
our mates.
Yes, there are people our mates that listen to Fuji. Definitely.
And, and what I'm saying is that there's a possibility that we might be the ones to
we need our
to
own
bring
for
this
that
whole
genre
back.
to continue. We need
our own
Fuji.
version. Okay, fair.
And they have people like Terry Akbala. You have
Terry Akbala. Terry Akbala is
this
like Fuji
guy-
trap, Abi.
Yeah, this guy that did.
I'd like to play a version of Terry Akbala.
If Terry Akbala took is Akbala music, but Fuji it's like he calls it Fuji trap. It's like Fuji music and trap.
Can I play a clip of it of one of the? This is his most popular song on Spotify. It's called Baka. Let's check.
No, let me see. Yeah, so that's like
You know what it reminds me
then
of?
do Q dot Olamide Ibadan.
He reminds me of Aruna Shola.
Yeah, he has a song with I think it's Shola. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, really?
Look at you, Yeti.
Shola has that song.
How do you know about
yeah.
Shola? Like,
Shola has that song. How was that song? Oh,
Sorry, who you taking
damn, what's
for?
that?
Like, I grew up
Fuck, there's
in Nigeria, clearly.
you don't wanna
like
do the other guy.
I'm such an old woman in a young woman, but I like all this old people's music.
do you guys listen?
If Shola has that song, Lilo Go. What's that? Is it one that has that song?
Which one?
Fuck.
Should I look it up?
Yeah, is it the one that has it? Somebody has that. I think it's.
Ishola?
Don't worry. If I find it out, I'll play it. Somebody has that. Is it Shola?
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah. So
Speaking of
Terry
Akpala
Akpala.
musicians, guess who I ran into on Instagram the other day?
who?
Sarawa Benny.
How do you
Yes,
run
What?
into like
Instagram
on
page.
Insta? Oh,
How?
I don't know.
Yes, on Instagram. I don't know. My
Oh,
mom
she
said my mom
does?
follows her or something. Yes. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's another Fuji star, a woman Fuji star, Salawa Benny, and most of them came from Ibadan. That's the funny thing. Most of them hailed from Ibadan. A lot of them.
Yes, a lot of Ibadan people.
Yeah, man. So the fact that we're even talking about all these Fuji people, just based off of this Obesere meme going off, I think it goes to show you how powerful social media is.
Yes, very much so.
And I'm telling you, curious people they're gonna go down this rabbit hole that we just went down, and they're gonna be discovering these same people.
Yeah, and it's up for the new guys to bring them back to the limelight, sample them. Let these people also be able to make not like they have royalties in Nigeria, but let them be able to get streams and this guy started way before this whole thing was a thing. I mean, this social media and everything. But hey,
Yeah, but I think we are due for a break.
And there are more people. I mean, we don't have to play them, but there's Q Dot, who has a song called Ibadan with Olamide. He's also into that whole Akpala music vibe, so.
Yeah. This one is called, can you introduce this one for us?
This is Niniola and Femi Kuti.
Niniola, for those that don't know, is Tenny's older sister. She actually started before Tenny.
She started before.
So this is Fantasy by Niniola featuring Femi Kuti. Do you know who produced this?
Nice.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So
but she actually like her music a lot.
yeah.
Niniola.
All right, check this out. Yeah, welcome back. Yeti, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
That was nice.
That was a nice vibe. That was a nice vibe. So Wale was just telling me on the break that apparently Femi Kuti also recently featured on Coldplay's latest album.
Yeah, Everyday Life.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently there's a video. So it's actually it's an actual single.
The song is called, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's spelled Arab. It's like Arab-esque. Yeah.
Arabesque or something.
I think it's like Arab-esque. So Arab and Esque.
Yeah.
And it's featuring vocals from Stromae, the Belgian guy, and singing in French. Big, he's very big he's big. Stromae is actually a big artist. And Femi, you can play it actually. Femi Kuti.
There's another song called Echo on their album.
Oh, I didn't even hear that one. But Femi Kuti is very big. Like you can play you can hear. And I'll tell you where his part is if you want to fast forward to his.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's dope, man. That's good for him. I'm not crazy about the song, but he's still a good look.
That's one person who's been able to stay relevant.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is his brand, man.
Yeah, his brand
is strong, and it's part of that Kuti.
I met the guy
Kuti brand
years ago. I was on my way back to Niger, and we were on the same flight, KLM flight from Holland. I used to like the guy because of that. She's bang bang bang.
I just did go.
Yeah.
That was my jam.
That was my jam too. And I remember I was with my dad and I was like, "Yo, who's that?" And I was like, "Yo, that's Femi Kuti." And I was like, "Yeah."
It was one of those first songs that they banned off the airways in Nigeria when it first came out because it was considered too raunchy.
And I tell you how big. People don't always. Sometimes you might not get how big he is. He's respected in Lagos, obviously the shrine and everything.
Yep.
But like I remember seeing a video of him being on a flight one day. I think it was also another KLM flight, and the hostess actually announced he was on there, and they had him perform.
Really?
Through the PA system. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He played his trumpet. And he also has a Guinness Book of Record for I think holding the longest note or playing the longest note.
Oh wow.
I don't know if there was a controversy with one of his records where let me quickly just fact check that where I know they said
that kind of cold, streamy weather, bang, bang, bang. We go make
I don't know if they gave it to him.
Ckay,
Yeah, so the longest
note.
notes ever. So if you go NPR, it says the longest notes record gets broken. Well, let's say, or maybe not. There was a controversy behind it, but it was Femi Kuti broke it. But I think there's some small politics behind. either how they recorded it or whatever. There's just there's a country, like if you go on NPR, it's right there. You know, there's a little controversy, but he broke it. You know,
that's dope. That's dope. Switching gears really quickly. So we all know about Michael and Angela. Michael and Angela from 90 Day Fiancé. They're still going strong. Last I checked, although they denied him his visa. So I think, are they off the show? I don't know if they're off the show. I think they do follow-ups, but they're not.
They do follow up for those shows.
They don't. Yeah, but they're not on the. They're not like on the 90 Day Fiancé show anymore, like proper. Are they?
There's another show called Pillow Talk or something like that.
Which is like the aftermath.
Also, okay, but this is 90 days.
And talk about the.
All right, before we get into I got the official thing for the record. So Femi contacted Guinness Book of Record to break Kenny G's record. Kenny G's record was 45 minutes and 47 seconds for the longest note. Femi clocked in at 46 minutes and 38 seconds. He broke it.
Oh, wow.
Only for them to say, actually, it turns out that 17 years ago, there was another guy who actually did 47 minutes and 6 seconds. So now he's not, so that's the controversy behind. He's like, well, why didn't you guys say this before? Because I broke it based on Kenny G's time. Yeah. But now you're telling me there was another guy who's just a few seconds ahead of me that I could have just, kept on going.
Probably just playing games.
Yeah, probably just, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's hard, cha.
It is.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So there's this new couple now. Similar situation as Michael and Angela.
Shout out to Sojaboy, man.
Do you know the guy's name?
It's some Hausa guy, bro.
Some Hausa guy.
Sojaboy.
And Sojaboy or something like
that. Sojaboy.
Sojaboy.
You know they asked the real Sojaboy about it.
Really?
On Breakfast Club.
Really?
Angela, you know that was just at work. he said, I heard about it. He said that.
Sojaboy.
But this one is Soja. S-O-J.
Sojaboy. This guy, he's an interesting guy, and he's also dating this older lady.
His name is Usman. His real name is Usman.
Have you seen the video?
And do you know the woman's
music video for her?
I haven't seen it.
It has a music video for her.
Oh, we gotta play it. But let me first start off with this clip. I think this is when they first meet, right? I think this is when she first gets to Nigeria. This older white lady, almost looks just like Angela. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. And Lisa, they're coming back from the airport, and this is them. They're kissing right now. Nasty.
You have started. Where to get to the hotel room? Don't allow me to go and maybe. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but okay.
They're kissing and then they start interviewing them.
Guys part. So, it's going to be cruising, it's cruising. Oh my God.
We're gonna sleep good tonight. It's been a long day.
Yeah, but we're not just gonna sleep, baby.
You think I travel 7,000 miles just to sleep? No.
This was same that happened to Michael.
Usman and I have been talking on social media for 2 years. We've built our relationship on everything but the sexual part. And being that I am 20 years older than Usman, I just hope he's truly attracted to me. We'll see how the night goes. They've got to go. Out. Get out, get out, get out. Goodbye. Good night.
The guys part. So
I don't know why this old white women be having this high sexual drive for this young African man.
It's serious. And then there's another clip that I'm gonna play.
Please.
I'll play it in a second. So this is after they're done having sex. The morning after.
Oh my God, I cringed at what he said.
come on, Sydney.
It is my first morning in Nigeria. I open my eyes, and there is my destiny laying next to me.
Oh, Lord.
I have jet lag, so I'm definitely up. Get up. Last night was spending my first evening together.
They're kissing.
One thing leads to another. Bada bing. We made love. Are you tired?
But you're strong, baby love. You come all this joy and to wake up this morning before me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not lazy. Am I?
You can be, yes.
Was I lazy last night?
This guy learned from when Michael failed.
There is a big cultural difference in making love. American versus Nigerian.
Is it now?
Like oral sex. He didn't know what it was. I had to show
he's
him that.
Hausa now.
I was like, really?
Nah, he's outside, man, so it's possible.
Time to get up.
When I had sex with Lisa, let's put this expectation as 100%. I see she's almost 70. She's not almost. She's 70% good of what I expected.
What?
And that's enough. 70%.
They better give this man his visa, yo. I swear to God. If they play Michael, if they play him like they play
good
Michael,
Lord.
I'm gonna be mad.
Let me show you what these crazy Americans said along for you.
What?
Look,
Timberland boots. Is she from New York?
Who give you this?
She brought out the condom.
Nikki and Trinda.
Condom.
Those are
I'm not gonna use
giving
this,
time.
baby.
So being this was your first time not ever using a condom. Did you enjoy it?
Come on, that wasn't his first time, nigga. Say yes.
Yes.
I told you this guy's legs for where Michael failed.
Did you see his facial expression? He couldn't even look her in the face.
Yes.
Time
It
to
is
get up.
gross. It is gross. It is kind of
Between,
gross.
but this guy and Michael, there's one thing I give to them though is I can't have sex with a girl I'm not attracted to.
Yeah,
Like,
look,
I don't know how they do it. It's called Lisa.
Lisa. So
Like, so he's
apparently
older. He has a
this
song
guy-
for her. That's
he
the
has
first
a
one.
song for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
He dropped the song, man.
Because he's a rapper, right?
Yeah, Sojaboy. Oh, he's an artist. I don't know if he's a
Sojaboy,
rapper.
tell him he's an artist. Let me play it real quick. This is interesting. Hold on.
Like, I don't even know how
No, that's not
they're
it.
like with the women at any. I mean, well, maybe they do like them.
No,
USB Entertainment.
USB
It's me,
Entertainment, man.
Sojaboy. I will there with you. Soja's Nation. Baby girl, I will stay with you. Sokota when she. I will be with you. Baby girl, I'm in love with you. Hello, baby girl, Lisa. You know, anytime I talk to you on phone, I always told you that I love you.
Yeah, bro.
So I decided to do this for you
Yeah, bro.
and for the sake of our love. Baby, I love you. Listen to this, please. I go there for you.
Hey, there for you.
I go do for you, girl.
What's
Baby,
up?
I go pray for you. Me and you go there till eternity, girl. I go there for you. Anything you want, I go do for you.
I like the
girl.
drama.
Baby, I go pray for you.
I'm waiting for it to get to the verse.
Till eternity, girl. Me, I don't forget all the things you do in my life.
I don't like the verse.
Oh my God, that's just terrible.
Well, hey, man, my man put it in words, man.
Hey, Soja, look, I hope they give this guy. I swear, they better not play him like they played Michael, yo. Michael,
he's
see how
learn-
much
he's
trouble.
learning-
Years.
He's learning where Michael failed. He's saying all the right things. Michael kept getting into fights with her. I don't think Michael could hold it up. And his friends again were not even having it. His family members, the moment they found out that this thing's looking long, they were not having it too.
It's a hot mess, man. It's a hot mess. But yeah, but that's a new 90-day fiance. I'm gonna be keeping track. We'll see what happens next.
The thing is, dude, I know these women know what they want, what the man
They
wants from
don't.
them.
I
They
don't
do.
think
No, they know.
They know, especially being on TV.
They know.
But you see,
They know.
The thing is this: it's like even people who do arranged marriage here, you allegedly people who do arranged marriage and whatever you give the other person, there's something you're willing to do it for something in return. I think these women are willing to do it for the time they get with this man, the 5 minutes of fame and the affection. She's getting her back blown out. She probably wasn't getting that just being in a house. So she's like, look, yeah, I'm fine with this, and this will last like at least they have to be together for a few years too.
Yeah.
So she's probably fine with this. Yeah, they definitely know. So
Switch.
I think they.
I think they know. I think they definitely know what's up. Switching gears a little bit, I do want to touch on this. Something happened recently in Nigeria, and that
Always
is
happening in Nigeria.
SLS.
Something's always happening. Oh yeah, that
Sanusi.
was shit, man.
Lamido Sanusi.
Oh, yeah, man.
He used to be the first.
To be the Emir. No.
Emir.
Well,
Emir.
before he was
Oh, it
Emir,
was
CBN governor.
Yeah, I think it was vice governor.
was
I
he?
said- yeah.
No, he was the governor.
Was the governor? Yeah,
he was the
CBN
governor.
governor. Yeah.
And he was one that sounded the alarm on Goodluck Jonathan's administration when he noticed 20 billion went
The
missing.
whole
He sounded the alarm. Even back then, I was mad at him because
with all Dasuki and
Yeah.
Desani and all that stuff.
back then I
Also.
felt like why did he have to wait till it was 20 billion before he sounded an alarm? But looking back now, it's like, do you know how much pressure he must have been under?
Yeah.
He sounded the alarm, and of course he got fired. And he decided that, you know what, I'm not even doing this politics stuff. So he went back to his home state, Kano, and he happened to be one of the descendants of
his grandfather, I think, was also an Emir.
Was once an Emir, and you know they passed it between families, and he happened to be one of the descendants, and so they made him the next Emir, and he's been Emir for a couple years now. However, he's been speaking out against the corruption within his state, within the north, and he's been honing in on something very important, and it's the fact that the north is, yes, there's poverty everywhere, but in the north especially, the level of poverty is on another level compared to other parts of the country.
Level, yeah.
According to him, it's about 80% that live under the poverty line in the north, versus the south. I think in the south they said it was like 20% or something. Basically, it's inverted, and it makes no sense. And there's so many impoverished people, and a lot of it has to do with the lack of education. We have a lot of programs in Nigeria where it's almost like when it comes to getting into universities, you usually have to take all these exams, and they usually end up lowering the bar for people in the north. This is a fact. Yes. This is a fact. Yes. It's almost like a version of affirmative action that they have for Hausas. And again, this has shown that it hasn't really been effective because there's still a lot of people that don't have education. They're pretty much begging these people to go to school, and it's just not the case. They're not prioritizing it, and they don't have access to like free schooling like they do in other parts of the country. Actually, there are not that many parts of the country that even has free schooling. There's just a few parts. But basically, his main message has been to, cut down on corruption and place an emphasis on education
and culture.
And I have some clips that I was actually going to play.
About having more women in power.
Yes.
More, make younger people in power.
Yes. I'm going to play one of his clips so that it will just let him. So this is an interview that he did.
Don't want it, and I'm not interested in it.
You're not ready. This was. In what sense do you think you're not ready? You've run the Central Bank of Nigeria. You've just, in this interview, claimed credit for some big changes, not least the fall in inflation that obviously has an impact on people's daily lives. Isn't that what people want from their politicians?
I know.
Improvements in their daily lives.
Yes, if being a good central bank governor doesn't make you a good politician. I've seen enough people be successful in a professional life and then go into politics and destroy everything they've built. I personally...
Is that what worries you?
Yes, I think if I go into politics, it will destroy everything I've done.
And there's no way that you could be persuaded to rethink that attitude?
And not with what I've seen in politics. I've been in Abuja long enough to know that I cannot survive 1 year in that space.
That's an extraordinary conclusion to draw from modern Nigeria's political life.
I think it takes a particular type of skill to be there.
And you haven't got it?
I don't have those skills.
Again, that was him declaring that he just wasn't ready for politics. This was before he became Emir. Now, after he became Emir, this is another clip that he's giving out here where he's talking about the governor.
So it's fine to say
of Kano,
to a rural villager, you should send your daughter to school. But it's not fine to say to the governor, why haven't you built a school? You don't have food security. You've got millions of children out of school. It's not the fault of the children that they're out of school. Somebody was supposed to build those schools. So the difficulty for traditional institutions is, on the one hand, they're firefighters, and will continue to do that. On the other, to actually address the root causes of extremism, you've got to address questions of governance, education, healthcare, corruption. And to do that is now political. If you take the UNDP OHDI poverty index in 2015, poverty levels in Nigeria, 46%. 46% doesn't look too bad compared to other countries. However, if you break these numbers down, in the southwest of Nigeria, 80% are living above the poverty line. In the northwest, 80% are living below the poverty line. And suddenly it becomes two different countries. Okay, and even those numbers don't tell you anything. As governor of Central Bank, I looked at numbers that said people are living on less than $2 a day. And it sounds bad, but you don't really know how bad it is until you look into the eyes of a woman whose baby has just died because she cannot afford drugs worth $5. When we go into crowd resources as states, so you have state governors in the north who have 3 million, 5 million children on the streets without school. They go to China and they're looking for money not to build schools, but to build a light rail. You spend $2 billion on a light rail. $2 billion. Imagine how many children you would educate with that.
He makes sense, and there's a big deal in the north. You know what I mean? People have their views on him also as a person, but there are two things that there are two people in the north that have been fighting for this thing. It's him and Governor of Kaduna, El-Rufai, and their friends. And I said it here at the time when El-Rufai did this thing on education. El-Rufai actually sacked so many teachers when he decided. El-Rufai has been big on his education thing. And I always say that politics and religion in Nigeria is scared of education, because the more educated you get,
you question more.
You question more, and they don't like to be questioned. So in the north, yes, there's a huge number of poverty, and what that means is that there's select few that have more money than everybody else. Yeah, because there is money there, but it's going to very select few. Unlike in the south, where we're more educated, more learned, we hustle for ourselves, we can find alternate means.
And I think the money trickles down.
The money trickles down a little bit more because you have more business owners, you have more people. In the north, a northern man is very simple man. He just wants peace if he can get it, and he has his, they still use all those ham radios and they just listen to their stuff, and that's them. They're very simple. They believe that they've made them believe culturally that these things are, Allah does not want these things, and if you have these things, you're a sinner. So you want this
considered haram.
So you want the simplest things in life, but you don't understand these people that are making you believe this. What they're just doing is they found a way to take your ration and give it to themselves, and now they're the ones enjoying these things. And lack of education is the reason why you as a person would not reason it yourself, that why is it that this guy keeps getting more billions and me, I'm here living his basic life. So Sanusi and El-Rufai, they fighting this thing.
They've been bucking that trend.
El-Rufai took teachers and had the teachers in Kaduna. He had an open session where he had them come and solve easy problems for the classes they teach.
Oh, wait, is that the one where the woman could not read?
Yes, a lot of them failed.
Oh my God.
And when El-Rufai came out to attack and dismiss these people, they went to strike. And this is also where sometimes I feel like we in the southwest of Nigeria and the east, sometimes we think it's just mind our business, because people started making noise online and everywhere saying, why would you do that? That's somebody's mother, that's somebody's child. Well, bro, you don't understand how bad it is over there. It's a very, very impoverished part of it's like a different world, like you said. It's being in the northern part. That's where Boko Haram and everything is.
Yeah.
It's a very, very
Boko Haram means against Boko is book.
Against the Western education, whatever.
Boko is book, Western education. Haram is
they're against the Western education, basically.
Yeah.
And it's a big issue over there. There and the Fulani herdsmen and everything. So education will solve a lot of Nigerians' problems. But like I said, politics and religion doesn't like it because it makes you question some stuff.
So let's move on to what happened. I think because he's questioning all these things, and it's almost like he's threatening the status quo of the north, the infrastructure, the politicians that they've just been eating money off the backs of the poor people. He's challenging that, and I think that made the governor of Kano threaten.
And he's challenging
the governor of Kano
their culture too.
Yes.
Because he talks about women's rights, like having more women and
more
younger
women,
people.
yes.
And this is not, this is side notes. I'm sorry. I saw somebody on Twitter the other day having a bio that she was a feminist, and then next to it she had a Muslim. And I said it's kind of like a contradiction because let's be honest, like a strong Muslim, your culture does not. It's your culture. Well, she can be a feminist, but she was fighting against. She said she left her marriage because she doesn't like what's that word when you succumb to somebody? What's that word?
She doesn't like to be.
What do you say?
Subservient.
Submissive.
Yes. She doesn't like to be submissive. That's why she left her marriage. That she's not a person who's submissive. But so I went to check her bio out, and it says feminist, and then it says Muslim, and I'm like, well, your culture preaches submission.
Yes.
For women, that's literally what it preaches. So it's very tough.
That's also, but
I mean, sorry, your religion preaches your religion.
But Christianity also preaches submission too, though.
So, but you know that you have a lot of Muslim countries that they didn't have women's rights. Women could not drive. You have the Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so it's a very, it's. I don't know if what the Quran preaches, but I do know. I mean, I don't know 100%, but I do know that the trends we see in these Muslim countries, a lot of women don't have. You're very submissive as a woman.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think part of it is they mix some of the religion
with their
some
culture.
Of culture.
Yes,
and sometimes
it becomes
it becomes almost synonymous where they start assuming some of these cultural things are part of.
You're right. You are right.
Which is not really
you
true.
are right. But I just thought I was like a little contradictive to have someone who's. You can be a feminist and be submissive, but to have someone who's like you have it in your bio to say yes, I'm a strong, Muslim person, but you're fighting
those things oppose themselves.
They oppose themselves
in
general terms. In general terms.
But I will say Islam does also have teachings of empowering women.
I do think so.
It's just not. It's not the way that we understand it in the Western world.
What you did say makes sense too. What you did say makes sense too. I mean, do you know that a woman taking care of a house is not a demotion, but in the Western world we make it seem like a woman taking care of kids is you're not empowering her.
Yes.
But you did say something that is right too, is that they take the culture and they mix it with with the religion and run with it, and we do it too. Yoruba culture and some parts of you end up having women being almost not having a voice, and he comes out to say, look, if these things are not working, if we've been using a man who's 50 to do something and it's not working, let's try a man who's 35.
Yeah.
If we've been using women issues and we have a man that isn't working, let's get women involved. And the traditionalists don't like these things because it doesn't align with what they know from Islam and what they also know from this thing. Now, the governor of Kano is Ganduje, is the man who there's a video of him getting a bribe of $100,000.
Can you imagine?
He's also Buhari's boy.
Yes.
Because they defended him.
But he's of PDP, right?
I don't know. Does it say PDP on there? I think it's APC. It should be APC.
Oh, yeah. It is. No, you're right. It is APC. And that was where
Buhari
came from.
Yeah, Buhari's APC. They defended him. This is one of the things where I don't like Buhari about this guy. This guy is a greedy mofo and he took money. Yeah, he was caught on tape taking money. No, he is. He is.
But you see, this is why I struggle with Buhari, because it's like I supported you because I thought you were the integrity
and you're
guy.
Doing this, yes.
And you have people under, even though there hasn't been any proof of Buhari himself stealing, but you had a lot of people under him that have been shown to be crooks.
Yes. Now,
what are we doing here?
The main issue I see with the North and why I see education, and I can see why they have Boko Haram is, I remember there was a guy, some northern guy that was in the house passing a bill, and he was making a statement about how, he has 10 wives and these kids and that and that and that. I guess in their mind, this education thing or this Western culture thing is going to make you
it'll upend
everything. And that's where you have issues.
Because the reason why a lot of these men are able to marry multiple wives is because the women that they're marrying don't necessarily have that many opportunities to grow.
If you have someone saying, let's give women more voices, let's do education, your natural fear is that the woman is not going to want to be home again, take care of your kids.
Their way of life is being threatened.
And unfortunately, and I know I did say that lady and her feminism didn't uphold. The reason I brought her up is because not being submissive doesn't mean you're a feminist. It just means you don't like to be submissive.
Yeah.
But the true meaning of feminism is you're actually allowed to be,
as long as it's your choice.
It's your choice. Exactly. Whatever you want to be. So if we introduce more women to come in and have voices, they can still decide to want to be the fifth wife.
Yes, exactly.
They can still decide to want to be, but the way it works is they're feeling like it's being threatened. In the North, it's legal for you to marry a 14, 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. In not all parts.
Not all parts, but in some parts of the North. Yeah. And then, but here's the thing, here's the downside to it. Mm-hmm. You're not kidnapping her. You're getting permission from her parents. So to use justified, but where if her parents were educated, an educated parent is not going to say, they're going to be like, no, hold on a second. But to them, it's like, where else can I find money from? My child is about to be successful through this, stuff like that.
But let's bring it back to Sanusi. So there was a law that was passed years ago that made governors
able to dethrone,
have the ability to appoint and dethrone.
But how long ago was it?
Monarchs.
I thought they said his grandfather was done the same way too. It was a governor who dethroned his grandfather too.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I heard that. So it must. So the law must have been around for a while. But that's not how it was before the colonizers came,
maybe
though.
not, but it's been around.
No, of course not.
Yeah, Yeti, you are saying something?
So there's a list of kings, 20 kings in Nigeria that have been dethroned, and it's been going on since the 19th century.
Wow. So this Ganduje guy, I guess he felt threatened, and he must have had backing from people.
Of course, from the president.
He must have.
He said,
and he pretty much kicked him out for what?
He said the reason is that
corruption.
he doesn't align with the cultures. No, he said it doesn't align with the culture of the state.
He put in his cousin.
But he even said it, man. He said it that he doesn't align with the culture. That's why he said it. He doesn't align with the culture of.
So they got rid of him, and he's in exile. He's not even allowed to go back. Exile. Oh, he's no longer in exile. But initially, they put him in exile.
The law they claimed, and I don't really know all these laws, but when I do my research, is in exile. The law is that you get exiled from the state.
Yeah.
And I think they said he was supposed to go to Nasarawa, and I think they said Nasarawa governor didn't want to accept him. But whatever it was, he ended up being detained.
Yeah.
But then his boy, El-Rufai, went to bail him out. El-Rufai has gotten him out. They put pressure on the presidency to get him out. So he wasn't under detention for long. He's out. He's free. In fact, El-Rufai made him they gave him 2 positions in Kaduna State. He made him the vice chancellor of the University of Kaduna.
Yeah.
And he also made him the vice chairman of
like the guy was Kaduna, like, come, we need you here. We need your kind.
The vice chairman of Kaduna Investment Promotion Agency. So El-Rufai is looking to build Kaduna up and raise the literacy level in Kaduna and everything. And he's like, look, you know what? Y'all don't want him. I'll take him.
I'll take him.
This is a learned man, and we can do this together. So, you know, I mean, El-Rufai too has his own issues too. I mean, corruptions and everything. But I don't think there's any politician in Nigeria that's not corrupt. But as long as you're trying to make a change while you guys still corrupt, is where I will support you. You know, and look, education is key, man.
It is. It is.
It's something these people don't want.
It's everything.
It's easy to oppress the illiterates, you know.
It is. It's everything.
Right.
It's.
They don't want people educated.
They don't want It's power, yeah, and that's why I said it goes to the politics and religion. And I'm not in religion. I don't mean just Christianity. I mean because I've been told I attack Christianity a lot, even I'm a Christian. But in me, I just mean like in general, because you have to teach it. Look at this is a sidetrack, but when I look at all this Vice News, when they talk to all these terrorists from ISIS and everything, a lot of them tell you that they don't even know what's in the Quran.
Yeah,
somebody came to tell them what it was there.
Yeah,
they don't even know how to read it.
True.
Yeah, they don't know. Someone just translated it to them and told them this is what the Quran says. But when you're educated, you make a life decision and say, why does this guy want me to kill myself? Why can't he do it for himself? You that are sending me to kill someone, why can't you not do it? Don't you want 99 virgins in heaven?
Oh, wow.
You get
not real wow.
You understand? So like, but once you're educated, you can make those decisions and say, nah, man, I'm not desperate.
Well, I'm gonna keep track of this SLS story. I want to see what he has next in store. I think I've been seeing a lot of people call for him to run for presidency.
He said he doesn't want to go in politics.
I've been seeing a lot of cries for that.
Where it's going to end up is, I think El-Rufai would run and probably make him his VP.
How awesome would that be?
I don't know how awesome it is because El-Rufai too can steal money, but I do think having a learned man, Buhari is learned-ish, but Buhari is still a strong. Buhari is culture over everything, religion over everything. So Buhari is still. I'm sure they were able to say, "Hey, guy, let's get rid of Sanusi because he's not preaching what our culture wants," and he would agree based on. It's true. You're right. He's not preaching. So Buhari is still a very strong northern Muslim man, and his views align with those views. We need someone more.
The
ideals. Unfortunately, the world is moving forward. Unfortunately, so we need someone who's more open to, even if you don't believe in 100% some of these things, even if you don't believe in like gay rights, you can say, okay, fine, we might not legalize gay marriage, but I don't see why we should lock up gay people.
Yeah.
Because you're more open to interpretation of things rather than you say, no, it's in the Bible, it's in the Quran. No.
So I was going to say something. There's something that I always hear, and I always hear about the fact that there's a lot of gay people in the North.
A lot in politics. There are a lot of gay Nigerians.
But I heard in the North, there's something about the North where
even in Lagos,
a lot of them
they said a lot of married men in Lagos,
I heard that,
in Abuja.
Even women boyfriends that they send overseas. Like they sponsor a lot of men.
There's a lot of men in
That's
Abuja.
a cultural thing
yes.
I heard.
Why is it that countries that tend to really
Conservative.
tend to be, and I heard the same trend goes for a lot of Arab countries too, where there's a lot of crazy shit that goes down in these places.
they I don't know. They say a lot of men in Lagos are married but they're gay. Abuja,
They're
same
on the down
thing.
low, basically.
The deal, guys. Abuja, same thing. Was it Pornhub said the top search in Nigeria is gay porn.
It's gay porn.
porn.
Speaking of download, did you guys hear about Governor Andrew Gillum?
Oh God.
Have you heard about that guy?
No. Let's not.
Is he on the deal?
Spread false narratives yet until it's proven. We can't speculate.
What do you mean? But you speculate all the time. Yet he speculates all the time on other people. Well, because it's Andrew Gillum and because he happens to be a Democrat, suddenly you don't want to speculate. Let me tell you what happened, right?
No. I'm just saying we don't know.
No, we don't know. We don't know. Okay. You're right.
So
I shouldn't say that.
Allegedly on the deal.
No. Actually, I shouldn't say that. But here's the thing, right? This guy, he ran for governor of Florida last year. Are you listening, Wale?
Yeah.
And I've heard rumors, from my insiders, from my sources that
who's your insider?
I've been known this, Yeti. I've been known. I'm telling you, I've been known about this. And I remember bringing it up once and on my politics thread, and they all came for me. They were like, "I'm full of shit. This one, that one." But I'm like you can see it now. When he talks, you kind of know. Anyway, long story short, this guy has a kid, right? He has kids.
So you're
wife.
saying he's feminine?
No, he has kids. He has a wife. He ran for the governor of Florida. He ran for the governor of Florida last year. He actually came pretty close. He ran against Governor Don Santis or something like that, some white guy. It was a very Dos Santis, very heated contest. But ever since then, right, he's emerged as possibly the next guy to blow out of the Democratic Party.
He was supposed to be getting vice presidency. Hope maybe they were saying
he was being considered. Like this guy, he's a big figure within Democratic ranks.
Bright future in politics.
So he's on the deal.
No, so what happened?
Tell him.
Before we add Jared. So what happened was, was it Saturday? What day was that? On Saturday?
It was Saturday. It was the weekend.
He according to him.
Yes.
Well, no. What happened was, Candace Owens leaked a police report.
Yep.
That he was found in a hotel room with a guy who was overdosed basically on meth, and he too was incoherent. But they said it wasn't meth that he had.
Yes.
They found him throwing up in the bathroom.
And it was two guys there.
Another man came in the room that was supposed to meet in the other guy.
Yes.
And found the other guy OD'd on the bed and called 911.
Yes.
911 took that one away. The police questioned Andrew, but then let him go.
Yes, and they let him go. So the speculation, again, all alleged, is that he was doing meth in a hotel room having a gay orgy. That's the speculation.
Sounds about right.
I mean, come on, man. Now
right.
he claimed he was only there helping a friend.
Oh.
Because his friend was wasted. Even though he was wasted though. Okay. He said he was there to help his friend. Yeah, Yeti, sorry, talk. Hey, I'm listening.
Sorry, orgy is not 3 people. 3 people is a threesome.
Okay,
an orgy is 4 or more.
4 or more.
Don't ask how I know that. I just know that. Don't ask.
Okay, so they said he was having a threesome and he was having a party and there was meth. They found meth there. He claimed he has never used meth. No girls.
All man party.
But he said he was only there to help his friend.
Hashtag we don't judge.
And that's all we know. And I ain't judging nobody. I ain't judging nobody.
You know what they say?
He released a statement.
A friend in need
is a friend indeed.
He was there for a wedding.
Yes.
What?
He did.
What did you say?
I said a friend in need is a friend indeed. So
you're good.
It's called
So he claimed he was there for a wedding and he was helping his drunk friend to his hotel room. And that's when the friend passed out or whatever. He said he wasn't there for drugs. He's never done meth before in his life.
Just happened to be in the vicinity.
He was just there now. He was helping out.
Well, hey man, we don't discriminate.
I guess we'll see how that goes.
I had an encounter in Lagos where I met somebody who's quite popular. I'm pretty sure that guy is on the.
Why? What happened?
No,
what was the encounter?
I can't give too much story. No, it didn't. It's not like he hit on me or anything. But in the setting I was in, he was a very, very. I don't want to geek because he's listening, but it was just I left that setting with me thinking, yeah, this nigga's on the deal.
Why? What happened?
I can't say it on air.
Just give us the scenario, man. Come on.
Air, but
what made you think that?
I can't give cues to certain behaviors, but there was a certain. Maybe when we get off the air, I'll explain better because I don't want to also,
I actually know of a girl that went through it. I tried to get her to come on the show, but she wouldn't.
It's just but it was
a girl in Nigeria that went through it. Like her husband was living a double life, and she found out in the marriage.
It happens a lot.
And she told me the whole story. It was a very sad story. Like she didn't realize until she had come out of the marriage that this shit is not normal.
But you see, this is what I'm saying about our culture and religion thing, because you're pushing that. Look, I fight with this as a Christian. I fight with homosexuality as a Christian because it's like it is in the Bible that it's homosexuality. I don't know the exact words, but it's in the Bible. But I do feel that I don't know if the Bible says you should be discriminating against homosexuals. And
it's not clearly stated.
Not clearly stated.
So the thing that people reference in the Bible is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah.
And in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, what had happened was God had sent an angel to go and save Lot's family.
Yeah.
When because they were burning up the whole place, right? Yeah. And for some reason, Lot's family was one of the people that they came to come and harass. Yeti, do you remember why? There was a reasoning behind it. No, there was a lot of shit going on, and they came to Lot's family's house, right? They knocked on the door and they were like, please bring your daughters out. We want to rape them. I remember. So there were angels that
God tell that we don't really know the story.
No, I know the story. There were angels that God sent to Sodom and Gomorrah to go and protect Lot and his family. The angels got there. Of course, the angels showed up as human being form, right? And all the town people came to knock on their door that bring those guys out, want to rape them. That was what was said. I want to F them, whatever. Here's the thing, right? If you look at it in context, right, because they wanted to rape them doesn't necessarily mean that they were gay.
They were gay.
So a lot of back then in that context, that was how they used to do it for slaves, male slaves. They would rape them and they would dehumanize them. It was like a way to just make them.
Bucking the buck.
Yes. And it was a common thing. So he said that, right? They said that bring those guys out, want to rape them. Guess what Lot said? And this is why I find the whole Christianity thing weird to me. Lot said, no, how about you have my daughters?
Instead, because they got, okay.
Can you imagine?
So, first of all, shout out to the...
He was ready to sacrifice his own daughter. Obviously, they were like, no, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, Lot had to run out and get out of there. The angels pretty much fucked the whole town up and destroyed the whole town. So the lesson that people try to preach from that is that because they wanted to have male on male sex, God decided to destroy the whole town. You can extrapolate that, but that's not necessarily.
I mean, but first of all, shout out to the NKV, which is the New Korean version of the Bible. But so there's a lot of things in the Bible that is left for interpretation, and people interpret it however they want to do it.
Yes.
But I don't see why, someone being gay. The Bible also says, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. I think it says that, but I hear that a lot. And it's like, as a human being, would you want someone to treat you like shit because of your sexuality? I don't think so. So this is why I'm like, it's like, why do I have to treat you differently because you're gay? You're a human being, and you're a human being.
Yeah.
But we preach about it in Nigerian Christianity that no, gays, no. And then Yoruba tradition too, and our cultures in Nigeria, none of them align with this too. So
you know how I feel.
You have men who are in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, whatever, late 20s to 30s, and you're being pressured to, where's your wife, where's your children, where's your this thing. So what you do is you find a girl who fits this criteria of what they tell your wife is, but you're gay.
Yeah.
So you marry her, you get her pregnant to sell this facade.
Some of them are bi though.
Some are bi, some are bi. But you sell this facade that I'm a straight, outstanding man in there, because the other, if you were not straight, they look down on you. But you're living a double life.
Yeah.
So it's now more important for you to please the people who practice your religion and culture. It could be Christianity, Islam, and you can be Muslim, Christian, I mean, Yoruba, Igbo, whatever. To please them. But meanwhile, you're living a double life.
So now let me bring up some factors that we've ignored. And I'm not saying this justifies it, but there's some things in Nigeria that for people to even take you seriously, you need to come with. There's like certain packages that people have.
You have to be married at a certain age.
So yeah, by a certain age, they want you to be married with kids, and it's the only way that they can see that this guy is stable.
Yes.
And a lot of times, in order for them to do business with you, they want to see some of those things.
Yes.
So some of it. So let me finish now, Yeti. Let me finish. I know, but I know. I'm just talking in the context of Nigeria. In order for people to, I guess, climb up their social ladder, they feel the need to have these things in place, like having a wife, having a kid.
That's a cultural thing.
And that's a cultural thing. So that's part of what is driving it.
Yes.
Now, in some cases, some of these guys are bi, and they figured, why not have both? I F my wife, give her kids, do the whole family thing.
You're not open to your wife because you're marrying someone.
And I think that's the effed up part.
False pretenses.
Yes, false pretenses.
That is when you lie. It's when you put up that facade. And there's some cases that the wives actually know.
No, yes, some cases and
they're okay
look
with the arrangement.
But then also even in those cases, but it's not my business. But in those cases, some of those cases, the wives too know, because on the flip side too, you have women who are married at a certain age without kids. I see people that went to,
and they're desperate.
I grew up with that. Some of them from 23, 24, they were married. They have 3 kids already. I'm like, bro, where you rushing to?
Yeah,
but
man, it's crazy.
To some people, they and you see some of them, they get married and they feel like they can't. I've had female friends or female talk about how they stopped talking to other females once those ones got married, because they start looking down on you. Like, where's your husband? Where are your kids?
It plays a huge role in
like
the social network.
I'm set. Where are you?
Back home.
You are still here dating all these men.
Role.
I found my, and the same thing can be said to men. Men, we get it at a later age in life.
Yeah.
You get it in your 30s towards 40s, and you look unserious as a man. That why you this age and you don't have a family, you don't have kids. What's wrong with you? Casanova.
I'm sure there are people that have looked at me that way too.
I look at you that way every day.
I don't know why anyone's figuring I'm only 30.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you have that issue, and it becomes a false life, and culture and religion has done good, but it's also done harm to a lot of people. And with the education thing, that's why I said you get to, I'm not like people are not educated. You can be educated and still follow these things, but at least you're more open to thinking. I think also a problem comes to is when you just succumb to it, that's our culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how educated I am, it's like that's just what it is. Yes.
A lot of them.
That's just the culture.
Educated. Why are you still thinking this way? They don't care. The culture trumps education in Nigeria, I feel like.
It does. Culture and religion.
I think we still have some ways to go, clearly.
So, but hopefully we get there. I'm not saying I'm just saying, look, if you're gay, it's better to be open about it than be on the deal, man, because you're ruining someone else's life.
Open about it in Nigeria.
Well, if enough people start being open about it, I think we can pass laws to not dehumanize them. It might not be to allow them married yet.
The lawmakers don't care though.
Well, if Bobrisky with this, the attention your friend Bobrisky likes to get, if Bobrisky comes out to actually start naming names of these people he sleeps with, tables would turn. But he would he wouldn't, because that's his source of money right there. That's his income. Right
Egungun, be careful.
Now express
you they go.
But
let's move on, man. Just some quick hits. John Boyega, we needed to shout this out. He recently inked a Netflix deal. Yeti, did you hear about it?
Was it with Netflix Africa, right?
Yeah.
It's Netflix Nigeria now.
Well,
Netflix Africa.
This is Africa, but he's gonna be working for movies in the East and the West, apparently. He inked this deal, so he's gonna be, and they're gonna be foreign language speaking movies. I feel like I feel like I put these things out there, and everyone just steals my ideas, man. It's crazy. But yeah, man, good look. I'm looking forward to what they're looking to produce. I think John Boyega, for those that don't know, he's one of the lead actors in the latest Star Wars franchise. And
he was also the lead actor in Pacific Rim.
He was.
He used this plug.
No, he wasn't the lead actor, but he was supporting actor. Oh, okay. He was. No, the newest installment. The first installment. It wasn't him. It was Charlie Hunnam. Okay.
And he used this plug to get them to add Wheezy Boy Make You Dance in the song.
He did? Yeah. Really? Okay.
Boy, Make You Dance.
He be rapping though. He be rapping.
He
be rapping.
Whatever that song is. Yeah.
He be rapping.
Song, yeah.
He be rapping. So we're proud of you.
He bought his parents a house recently.
Yes, I saw that.
Very nice
I saw
house.
the little clip. I saw the little clip. Another real quick hit that I wanted to get to was this is hip hop related. The baby, he slapped a woman.
That was always slapping people.
That was like the big thing.
Okay, the first two incidents of the things he's done, I was with them like, okay, whatever. But this one was out of line. Man.
Yeah, she come and slap
dude.
Corona out.
Really?
But she slapped him first, right? With a phone or something.
No.
I don't think so. The video didn't show
what
her.
happened was he was in a club. He was walking through. It was dark.
Yeah.
She's trying to take a picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
Her flash is gonna come on clearly,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked like the video I saw. Someone bumped her, and
Yeah.
her hand hit him.
Oh, and then he just whacked her.
He didn't even look.
Yeah.
He just slapped her like that.
So if you are living in when you live, but yet you know those hood niggas, man, that they're brought up to react like that. Like they don't really.
To be fair to him, and I don't support it. Is he's celebs are human beings too.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as a celeb, you have to just know that you're a celeb and you have to do things differently. That's just what it is. You can't be slapping people.
You don't even know if it was a man or anything.
You can't be slapping people. That's all.
Yeah,
you can't be slapping people.
Like the guy's been getting into a lot of shit. Like he's been slapping a lot of people. He's been assaulting a lot of people. And I'm thinking, look,
don't you see the way he
you're
does
getting rich now.
All his TikTok videos is the force he's always using. He needs to let it out, man.
I'm like, you're getting rich now, man. Like this is a lawsuit. The girl has already said complaining. She has said complaining.
Then let's.
They already got a lawyer.
Yeah.
They have a lawyer already.
Yeah,
and that's what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to settle.
They're gonna sue his ass. He
needs
needs to move different.
Yeah,
man.
you have to just.
But I think he did apologize though for.
Maybe.
That wasn't an apology, Kakon. Did you see the apology?
No, I didn't. I just heard.
I mean, look.
He made a mockery of the apology.
Look, in a normal setting, if that was a regular man, we won't be talking about this. If that was when I'm a regular non-VIP person, so. It's stuff that happens and happened. It's not right. Is whatever. But he needs to learn, and artists need to learn now. Unfortunately, as much as you like to sing music, you've put yourself in the limelight, and you can't be smacking and doing things like that. There's a lawsuit. There's a target on your back.
I have one last topic here that I want to address. Yeti, have you heard of the male privilege test?
No, what's that?
There's a male privilege checklist.
First of all, what is this thing? It doesn't say that thing says male rape.
No, it's just the male rape prevention educator, but it's the privilege checklist. This is.
I don't know why Ckay is on rape websites.
No, it's not a rape website. This is a checklist that recently came out for in order to test whether you have male privilege, right? So I'm gonna ask WurlD this question. I'm gonna answer the questions to myself. So the very first test here, WurlD.
What do you do, man?
I can receive praise or acknowledgement for doing the same or similar work as female colleagues who will not receive similar praise or acknowledgement. Is that true?
Of course, I'm the Black James Bond. Right, receiving praise
for doing similar work. Basically, are you ever in a case where you do certain work and you get praise for it, and that same work you've seen female co-workers do it and they didn't get the same praise?
It's probably happened before.
It's probably happened, but it's probably happened the other way too.
Probably happened the other way too.
I think that's BS.
I don't think it's. I don't think they're intentionally like
yeah.
You're a man
because you're a man.
Yeah, man
you
power,
get
man.
The praise.
Nah.
Number 2.
Personally, that's me speaking.
Sorry, where's this test from?
Wait, no.
It's from xyonline.net.
That's number 2, huh?
Number 2. My odds of being hired for a job when competing against female applicants are probably skewed in my favor the more prestigious the job, the larger the odds are skewed.
Secondly,
what do you think?
I don't know, and I know that my odds are skewed negatively when I'm going against white people. That's the one I can answer.
Say that.
So
I don't like this test.
I don't know about women.
A white man, it's not even a white woman. You probably get the job.
Yeah,
this is about male privilege.
so I don't know about
black
so
or
as a
white.
black man. Well, if as a black African man against a black African woman.
I don't agree with this.
I can't answer to this because I don't know the stats.
End of story.
What about you?
Wait, so Yeti, are you saying that because someone is a man, he has a higher chance of getting the job?
There are factors. There are hierarchies. White man first, clearly.
Yeah.
Then white women.
Then I want to
then
say
black,
the
Asian men.
White women and black men.
No, Asian men. What about Asian men?
Well, I'm thinking in case of black and white.
Okay.
I think it's just
perception.
And black women at the bottom. White women.
So
I think that's just perception.
I will say
I'll
that
tell you this, right? I'll
yeah,
tell you
wow.
this. If there's a black woman in my company, there's a black woman that has the same qualifications. Let's say they have a PhD, blah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a white man that has the exact same qualifications. The higher of the black woman, the chance of the black woman getting it is much higher.
So,
because of diversity. Because
they're being more aware of it now.
What's that thing?
I'm telling you, a lot of corporations
what's
I'm
that thing
in.
called? When you have to have minorities. What's that thing called?
Affirmative
action.
But it's not affirmative action. It's something else. It's like a threshold. Well, I guess you can call it a type of affirmative action, but it's like a minimum threshold that you have to.
I have heard that but then again, this is a backward scenario in a country like Nigeria. I have heard that in some jobs, they will look at the woman and say, well, she's going to get pregnant, she's going to have time off, and it might play a factor in them getting a man over a woman in some situations.
Yeah, and I'm sure they do that here too for certain
jobs.
Because there's certain jobs where they need the person there on standby.
To be honest, the way things go nowadays, I really don't. I don't think so. I don't think I do know that yes, they might want a white person first. But I don't think as per black man, black woman put against each other, they're going to be like, oh, well, because he's a black man, I give it to him over her. Next question.
It's changing now.
It's changing. It's changing.
Next question.
Number 4.
Should be number 3.
Number 3. I can have very little experience, but still be pushed or pulled into visible leadership positions.
That's BS.
Number 4. I can be the only male identified person in the room, yet feel comfortable controlling the space and interactions. What does that mean?
What does male identified person mean?
I guess because there's some males that are not male identified.
So I'm a man and I'm the only man and I feel controlled in the room. Nah.
Basically what they're saying is that you can be the only guy in the room and you feel comfortable among women. Whereas if you're a girl and you're the only girl in the room with men,
that has nothing to do with my gender. It has to do with me.
With you, right?
As a person.
But I think what they say is that women typically feel less than whenever they're just in the company of only men in work.
I can be in a room with all men and feel inferior. I can be in a room with all women and feel like I don't have a voice. And I can be in a room with either or I feel like y'all listen to me.
Okay, so that one is a little bit.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeti might be able to answer this one.
Yes.
I would say historically, actually not even historically, still, men overtalk women all the time. All the time.
Okay.
You guys don't realize it, but it happens.
It does. But I think part of that is also the fact that they say men tend to be more assertive too. So men tend to take more risks, more chances, and part of that is how we're raised. So yeah, there might be some credence to that.
Right.
So it's an individual thing
I was
though
just
at
going
that
to say
point.
that. You just proved my point right there.
Because he spoke over you, what?
It's not even individual. We were raised to talk and be more pliable.
But there are some women who are very loud and active
who break that stereotype.
You call them words though. Don't you realize that?
No, they're just
that's more loud and aggressive. They call her a bitch. If it was a guy that was like that, they'll say, "Oh, he's a boss."
But you do know one thing though. I have seen it a lot, and it shows in our society. Maybe sometime when some women are in this situation, they tend to overcompensate. And it might be just because they feel they have to go an extra mile to prove this point.
Yes.
So some of them do tend to want to show that. No, some of them walk into the room and think, oh, you already think you can take advantage of me. And when everybody's actually just like, nah, we're waiting for you to talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I think some of it
is psychologically too, yeah.
It's probably because of their experience.
Yeah, you're right. But in today's world, I believe this is more of an individual thing than gender thing. But go on.
Okay. Next one. I can simply show up to an event or wear a ribbon and people will think favorably of me.
Wear
No.
a ribbon.
I don't even know.
What does that mean?
What do you mean
Wear a
wear a
ribbon.
ribbon? I don't understand what that means.
Yeah, that's
If I'm co-presenting with a woman, people will consider me the expert and ask me all the questions. That is true to an extent.
Yes.
That is true.
That is true to an extent. People tend to that's happened to me where I was in a room with my boss, who at the time was a woman, and we look about the same age, like 25. You know what I'm saying? And
like what?
So basically, I would like whenever
thought we're not gonna catch it.
Whenever we met like a new client or something, they would always face me and they would just assume that I was the boss.
It happens.
That happens. That
it's
definitely
happened.
happens.
It happens even when you go out to dinner.
It does.
They bring the check to you.
Yep, they give the guy the check.
Yeah,
It does.
It happens.
It does.
It
does.
definitely happens.
So that there's some truth to that one. It
happens the other way too, where a white person and a black person, and the white person is the under.
We're not trying to make this
this
racial.
is not a woman.
Oh God, this is
We've
about
done a racial
is male privilege test. Yeti. Oh, by the way, Yeti. By the way, Yeti, did you hear the last 2 episodes where we called you out for a bunch of things? Have you heard the last 2
I can't
episodes?
hear you. What did you say?
I said, have you heard the last 2 episodes?
You called me out for what?
No, never mind. Don't worry. Just go and listen to it later. The next one. I can be relatively new to the work and yet still be recognized for my contributions by winning awards.
It's also an individual thing.
Yeah. I can deliver sorry.
I feel like this is industry based too. It's different in industry.
Yes.
Industries are different.
I can deliver
all over.
I can deliver anti-violence messages to an audience without being perceived as having an axe to grind. I don't know. I don't really know about that.
Maybe if they said sexual, maybe if they said sexual harassment.
We're like halfway through. I'm almost done.
Maybe if they said sexual harassment, because I'm pretty sure if a man gives a sexual harassment talk and a woman gives it, sometimes it might come off as I don't know. Maybe she's because in that case she's the victim.
It's true.
So the woman is the victim in the topic. So it might come off as. What the hell is this bitch one again? It might, depending on the person or the group.
Perhaps.
It might,
If I have conventionally masculine presentation of myself, I will be seen as a relatable and accessible to a wider audience, especially younger men and boys.
Well, not today when everybody is identifying as he, she, her.
Yeah, that's a lot of that has changed.
Changed now today.
I can share stories of boyhood gender socialization that appeal to male identified. I don't like whenever I say male identified, I get like turned off. Like, what do you mean? You're either male or not male. I can share.
That's not true, but okay.
Well, we can agree to disagree. If I decide to stop working to end men's violence against women, I can feel quite confident that my physical safety will still be secured.
What is physical safety?
Which will be especially true if I am heterosexual, white, male, identified man.
What does physical safety mean?
Basically, they're saying that as a woman, it's harder for you to come out and
quit your job.
I can decide to stop working to end men's violence against women. I can feel quite if I decide, and this one is complicated. One
thing I can tell about this. One thing I can tell about this article.
Is not as certain as a woman's safety.
But one thing I can tell from this article.
Where I can't walk at night and you can. I have to think about so many different things and when to go out and all that.
Yeah, but that's just life. But that's just life. There is that's like I think that's thinking in an ideal world where violence does not occur. In an ideal world, look, in the world that we live in, it's the weaker people get preyed upon. And it just so happens that women are, on average, not as physically capable as men. So, right off the bat, that makes women more susceptible to violence.
Trash out at night. I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but Yeti, where you live, do you worry about taking your trash out at night?
Well, right now,
No, exactly.
Yeah, so it's relative to where you live.
Even as a man, if
there's some places that I won't go because they'll look at me and they'll be like, "Oh, that nigga, he's a weakling. We'll come for him." No, I'm not really a weakling. Look, me, I fight jiu-jitsu. Don't fuck with me in the street. So
that's why they were threatening you about the toilet.
Don't fuck with me in the street. So I go see you. Egungun, be careful.
Before you finish this thing, I can tell you that this article was written by a white boy who identifies, who tells you his pronouns before you identify it.
Standard.
He's going with so many. If you identify as a my guy, talk to.
I can receive travel and training opportunities based on the fact of my gender alone. I don't know about that.
I'd say the only thing that might stop a woman from doing that is if you're married and you have kids or you're pregnant. They might not want to.
Yeah, there are two more on here, but they're just too long. They're just too long. I just wanted to just test it out.
The last question should have been, man spread.
Okay. Anyway,
so
I'm guilty of that one.
I think we're pretty good for the day. Yeti, do you have anything to add before we hopped off?
No. Wash your hands. Practice.
Wash your hands. Key. That is social. That is very, very key.
Wash your hands.
Wale, what you got?
Just be careful, man. My nigga COVID-19 be traveling no visa, man. #, no borders, man.
Yo, that nigga out here fucking shit up, yo.
We move, man. That's the real definition of we move,
out here
man.
Fucking shit up. Talele, Wale, who's this
Ckay,
that we're about to?
a guy called Ckay.
I think we've played one of his songs before.
Yeah, I think he used to be signed to Emma's label.
He's in Nigeria.
I'm not too sure.
So I guess this is Ckay. But before we go, please, you guys, check out our YouTube videos. We are on YouTube, Smiling Sufferer, search for us. We are on Facebook, The Smiling Sufferer, search for us. We're on Instagram, Smiling_Sufferer. We're on Twitter, @SmilingPod. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. Hit the bell right there. See the one over there? You guys can see me on the video.
One more thing
hit
to
that
say.
bell. Yeah, Wale.
Everybody be careful because now Express you they go.
You already know the title of this episode now. But you guys, thanks for having us. Oh, so yeah, Danny wasn't here today. She couldn't make it, but she should be back next week. All right, man. So I think we survived this without contracting anything.
We don't know yet.
I wiped everything down.
We don't know yet. We will know.
But this is Love Nwantiti by Ckay the First.
I guess it's changed his name to Ckay. So I just know him as Ckay.
Okay, well, check this out.